Jamal Finkley, BlackTree TV.
Hello,
How you doing,
Jamal.
Adolpho?
I'm good. You?
Pretty
What a
good.
beautiful
Pretty.
tree you have behind you.
Yeah, I'm actually on the road. So somewhere between North Carolina and South Carolina, driving back
Oh,
to
that's
Atlanta.
good.
But um, so I mean, trade trees. My first question, just as a cinematographer, when you get a story, I know the director is going to give you cues on what they want, but like, what about the story kind of gives you um like the hints of what elements as a cinematographer you would like to add to it, or what your suggestions? Like, what about the script tells you like the textures and stuff that you want to get into as a photographer?
I think the important thing is not trying to figure out that straight away. I always read the script the first time, is not thinking at all about my job on it. I'm just trying to connect with the story and to see if that resonates with me somehow, and trying to understand the characters and trying to understand all the levels of it. So then after I understand that, and after I had enough conversations with the director to figure out what they are trying to do, then I can start thinking about, okay, how do I translate that thing that now I understand into a visual language? And on this movie, for example, it was really clear from the script that it is basically memories of that person's life. The script was not necessarily chronological the whole time. It felt like almost like this guy's story being told, and then it would come back and forth, and almost like when you're telling a story about someone that you remember something that related to that story but had happened years before, and then you go back, and so it's also fluid. So we wanted to keep that feeling on this movie too, almost like you found that box full of pictures and you're trying to look at those pictures and put that life together.
Y'all going on to another job or you quitting for the season?
I can't decide. I'm never happy when the job ends for some reason. I just feel itchy inside.
That's because it's rough work, gentlemen. Not just on the body, but on the soul. We just cut down trees that have been here for 500 years. Upsets a man's soul whether you recognize it or not.
I'll have $200 in my pocket tomorrow morning. Don't bother my soul. Not one damn bit.
That's because you Minnesota fellas don't know nothing about history.
These trees are really that old.
Or some's older, even. This world is intricately stitched together, boys. Every thread we pull, we know not how it affects the design of things. We are but children on this earth, pulling bolts out of a Ferris wheel, thinking ourselves to be gods.
Was there any shot that was like more complicated to set up than others on this story?
Well, I feel like the big fire was a complicated thing to do first, because everything else that you see on the movie that have fire, it's actual fire. We actually use fire, from the candles to the campfires to whatever. Even the cabin burning, that's actual fire. But then for that huge wall of fire that he cannot cross to get to his house, we had to rely on VFX, or on artificial lighting. Is the only time basically in the movie that we use artificial lighting. So that was tricky, because we wanted to make that still feel part of the movie and not pop out. So the feeling of the fire kept the same, the colors, the flickering, and also our language um, kept the same, and that just meant testing a lot and trusting VFX to do a good job, and they did an amazing job with that too.
Because otherwise, like your exposure would keep changing or something because of the flame. Like, I mean, when you have stuff like lights like that, like how do you keep other people like exposed without the light messing up or flaring the image, or is that something that you do in post with color?
Well,
Um,
when working with fire, and like all other scenes with candles, or the campfire, it is tricky, because yeah, fire doesn't behave the way you necessarily want them, but there's ways around it. Our crew, especially the lighting crew, was really amazing on embracing that. So, for example, the campfires, we had real wood burning because we wanted a look of real wood, but that kind of sometimes fades away during a scene, and you don't want to stop the scene to say, okay, sorry guys, we need to change the fire here. Sorry to interrupt your take, Joe. So we had basically Kevin Cook, the gaffer, right next to the SFX guys, controlling the level of like a gas thing we had on top of it. So whenever the fire would go down, they would pump it up a bit back so the wood would go back to the same level. So it was just all those things, like trying to make sure the candles would last enough for a take and that kind of thing. So it was relying a lot of on all the crew's capabilities to keep it consistent as much as possible, and then in the end me in the camera trying to adjust to and keep it consistent.
Well, I mean, what a great composition for the whole picture. Like, just knowing. I mean, I usually see image and know that, like make note of it, but knowing that I was gonna interview you, I was just while just looking through the whole thing from the beginning to the plane shot. I was like, oh, these are just some great shots and composition the whole time.
Oh,
So
that's
congratulations to
kind.
you on that project.
Thank you
I
very
love
much.
love the images. I can't wait to see everything you got going forward, man. And good luck this
Thank
season
you
with
very
everything.
much. That's super kind.
Take care.
Thanks.